All right. So, we got two very, very special bottles today. We've got good old Jack Daniel 14, which is making huge waves this year. Everybody's kind of got it in their top list of the year of 2025. This, I wouldn't say was the king of 2024 by no stretch of imagination, but it's one of the kings. It's just not the best overall. But I would say that ultimately you have great bottles here, great comparison. Jack Daniel's an amazing distillery, 14 years, this is the top of the range for them. You have Russell's 15. I wouldn't say the absolute peak of Wild Turkey and what they have to offer, but I would definitely say it's up there. So another comparison I'm going to do is probably this versus Generations, but I think that this is a worthy comparison to just kind of find out what really is the difference between these two high age expressions for these two distilleries. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Ooh, this one is nice and dry. There we go. All right, so let's get the simple stuff out the way. Color. To me, the color is about, oddly enough, they're about the same. They're very dark. And I would attribute that mostly to the age, really. I think the age is the reason why they're as dark as they are. A lot of oak influence. So let's go ahead and start off with a sip of the Jack Daniel. Wow. I feel like every time I come back to this bottle, it finds a way to kind of change a little bit or transform a little bit and become just that much more expressive. So for those that have not had the JD14 yet, I'm going to tell you it's very prototypical of what Jack Daniel typically is. So you still get the banana, but there's a lot of oak this time that kind of balances that out. Now, if you've had Jack Daniel 10 or 12, this is like that, dialed up. Now, the Jack Daniel 14 is very high in proof. As a matter of fact, this one is 126. So that's a big departure from the, closer to like 100 proof that the 10 and 12 is at. So this is more or less along the lines of kind of more like your barrel proof Jack Daniel, the gold label that we all know. But this has just been curated. I mean, you can just tell by the nose, by the palate, this is really special. And it hits you with a cadence that is more of a high-end expression that makes you think of, your Russell's 15, maybe some B-Tac stuff. You start thinking of some of your very, very high-end products because of just how it comes across. Wow. That is just a very nice oaky, it's like a banana nut bread. Tons of vanilla that's in there. There may be a little bit of confectionery sugar that's in there a little bit, but it's very, very bright in the fruit department. So, I mean, that is an A, if not an A+. Wow. Jumping over to the Russell's 15 is a completely different product altogether. I mean, it doesn't taste, it doesn't smell anything like it. I mean, now we're going dark, sweet tobacco, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of vanilla. I mean, we're on a completely different side of things. I mean, you almost smell like a little bit like a Coca-Cola in this a little bit. Man, that is dark and sweet. All right. Wow. This really, the Jack Daniel 14 really is so expressive. You feel as though it can't really be topped, or can't really be, it can't be more expressive until you drink the Russell's 15. And it's almost like night and day. That is just so much more expressive. That is quite interesting. Because this is not really so much even about the preference per se. This has to do with really just the big difference of what they're doing. So the Jack Daniel has a good amount of class to it, but there's nothing that the Jack Daniel 14 is doing that the Russell's 15 isn't doing. And then you add flavor volume to it. The flavor volume on the Russell's 15 is like significantly higher. Like you can clearly tell that the flavor is there's just more of it. It makes the Jack Daniel almost feel a little faint in comparison. And it's amazing because you go back to the Jack Daniel 14 and you still, it's still fantastic. Now I'm kind of cross-pollinating because I'm sipping these back to back so quickly, but in doing that, I'm starting to kind of pick up a lot of brown sugar from the Jack Daniel. A lot of brown sugar. Kind of blitzing these. Wow. Now, kind of in doing that, kind of rapid fire going back and forth, the flavor of both is impressively like really good. Wow. That makes me feel like maybe blending these might be a good thing to do at some point. That might kill some of you, but once I get low on this, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. I gotta try it for science. But yeah, so in this head-to-head, it's not even like a long drawn out thing. The Russell's 15 has this pretty handedly, like it's obvious. So if you have Russell's 15, you think about springing for the Jack Daniel 14, still get the Jack Daniel 14. It is all that and then some. It's a completely different experience from the Russell's 15, but in a head-to-head, it does not outperform the Russell's 15. And that's just the long and short of it. You could spend time blinding them if you want to, but the flavor profiles are so different that it's not like you're not going to know. All right. For whoever that just pained or killed, I'm so sorry. Not really. And we'll send off with this last sip. And I'll give you my impressions of what it's like to mix these two. All right. I'm a little nervous because these are kind of expensive and hard to get. And did I just ruin this pour altogether? We'll see. That is an extremely complicated pour. I don't know what to feel about that, to be honest with you. Combining them didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I think you would have to do more like a 80-20, one way or the other. I think the 50-50 is probably where it's going wrong. It's like pulling in two opposite directions. I'm tasting both things and they feel quite separate. It didn't bring it together in a harmonious way. I'm tasting the banana nut bread over here. I'm tasting the cherry cola over here, and they're just pulling from each other. Maybe if I let it sit for a while, maybe it might be a little different, but hey. So long and short of it, don't blend these. I did it so you don't have to. But hey, good nonetheless. We'll see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, maybe put a comment in there, hit the notification bell. But the other way, we'll catch you in the next one.